In 2017, engineers cut open a Roman road that had not been touched for over 1,000 years. What they found underneath was still working. Layer after layer perfectly intact, massive stones on top, locked tightly in place. Beneath that smaller stones, compacted so densely they had hardened like concrete. And at the very bottom a drainage system still moving water away from the structure. Still working after 1,000 years. No asphalt, no steel, no modern chemicals, just a system built to outlast everything around it. And that is where things start to get uncomfortable. Because modern roads are not built this way. Not because we don't understand durability, but because durability is no longer the priority. Modern roads are built for speed, for cost, for a 20-year contract cycle, designed to be repaired not to last. And once you see that difference, you stop asking how, and start asking what we chose instead, and what it cost us. There is one detail most people miss. A modern road has a designed lifespan, not a hoped-for lifespan. A designed one, 20 to 25 years, that number is not an accident, it is an engineering target. That target is built into the material itself. Asphalt is flexible by design. Under load, it bends slightly rather than cracking. In theory, that flexibility is a strength. In practice, it is the beginning of the problem. Flexibility means movement, and movement creates openings you can see. Every truck passing over the surface makes them worse. Summer, asphalt softens in the heat, heavy vehicles press down, ruts form, water pools in the ruts. Winter, that water freezes, ice expands, it pushes the surface apart from the inside. The same flexibility designed to protect the road is what lets the water in. And that is just the beginning of the failure. A modern road surface is 3 to 4 inches thick. Asphalt over a gravel base, that's all there is. When water gets through, and it always does, there is almost nothing beneath it to slow the damage down. The subgrade softens, the surface above loses its support. And what you see on the road, the pothole, the crack, the crumbling edge, is not where the failure started. It started at the bottom, and it worked its way up. The Roman road underneath that excavation in 2017 was 3 to 5 feet deep, not 3 inches, 3 feet. That is not a small difference. That is a completely different philosophy about what a road is supposed to do. Stay with me, because what the Romans built into those layers is something modern road budgets were never built to support. Before we get to what the Romans built, we need to deal with the obvious objection. Maybe they were just lucky. Good climate, good stone, light traffic. It is also wrong. Roman roads crossed Britain, freezing winters to heavy rain, soft ground still there. Roman roads crossed the Alps, extreme cold, ice loading, snowmelt every spring, still there. Roman roads crossed North Africa, desert heat, dry soil, temperature swings of 40 degrees in a single day, still visible today. The Romans did not get lucky with their conditions. They built through every condition we use as an excuse. So the question changes. It is no longer, why did Roman roads last? The question is, how did they build something that still outperforms ours today, without a single tool we consider essential? No machinery, no Portland cement, no asphalt, no steel reinforcement, no petroleum products of any kind. And yet their roads handle the same freeze-thaw cycles that destroy ours in 15 years. The same water pressure, the same loads, the same failure conditions. The answer is not about materials, it is not about technology. It is about what question you ask before you lay the first stone. And the Romans asked a very different question than the one we ask today. And that changed everything that followed. In 2015, a team of engineers at the University of Cambridge started taking that question seriously. Not theoretically, in the field. They spent 2 years excavating cross-sections of Roman roads buried beneath medieval Britain. Roads that had not been touched in over 1,000 years. The assumption going in was straightforward. Roman roads lasted because of the surface stone, the quality, the size, the craftsmanship. That assumption did not survive the excavation. When the team measured the structural performance of each layer, the surface stone contributed almost nothing to the structure. Roads with worn surfaces, roads with missing slabs, still structurally sound. The secret was not on top. The secret was underneath. And when they compared what was underneath against modern road engineering standards, the Roman system was superior by every metric they measured. Every single one. There is a word the Romans used for a fully built road. Munita. Munita means fortified, the same root as munitions, as fortification. They did not call it a road. They called it a fortress. A fortress built into the ground. And the enemy that fortress was engineered to defeat. Not armies, not weight, it was water. Every decision the Romans made, the height of the road, the depth of the layers, the size of the stones, the angle of the surface, every single decision traces back to one problem. How do we stop water from reaching the layer below? Not just at the surface, at every level, simultaneously. Modern roads address water at the top and hope for the best below. Roman roads stopped it 5 times before it could do any damage. 5 separate layers. 5 separate defenses, each one designed to stop what the layer above it missed. Here is how it worked. The Romans did not start with stone, they started with the ground itself. Before a single stone was placed, before any material was brought to the site, Roman engineers did something modern road builders do not do. They studied the ground, not the surface, the subgrade. They identified what type of soil they were building on. Clay, sand, rock, marsh, each one required a different preparation. On soft ground they drove wooden piles deep into the earth first. On clay they excavated and replaced with compacted gravel. On solid rock they cut directly into the surface. The road did not begin at the road. It began 3 feet below it. Modern roads begin at the surface. The Romans began underground. That single difference explains more about why Roman roads last than anything else we will cover today. Layer 0. Before the road exists, then came the agger. They raised the road above the surrounding land. Excavated soil from both sides, mounded it toward the center. The road sat higher than the terrain around it. Water flows downhill. A raised road sheds water outward away from the structure, before it can find a way in. Modern roads sit flush with the terrain, sometimes lower. Water has nowhere to go except down. The Romans eliminated that problem before the first stone was laid. We never addressed it at all. Defense 1. On top of the agger, the Romans laid the statumen, large flat stones, sometimes 2 feet across, laid directly onto the compacted earth. Not gravel, not crushed rock, stones the size of a coffee table. A statumen stone cannot sink the way gravel sinks. It is too large to shift under load. It distributes weight across a wide area of subgrade, instead of concentrating it in one spot. Defense 2. Above the statumen came the rudis, broken stone, gravel, packed tightly. Modern gravel behaves like a liquid under sustained load. It flows, it shifts, it migrates toward the edges. The rudis interlocked. The pieces could not flow. Under pressure, the layer behaved like a rigid plate. Not a granular fill. Defense 3. Then came the nucleus, fine gravel, lime volcanic ash, compacted over the rudis. This layer did something no modern road material does. It got harder over time, not weaker, harder. The volcanic ash reacted with the lime continuously, the same chemistry that makes Roman concrete self-healing. New mineral structures kept forming inside it. For decades after it was laid, a Roman road built in 100 AD had a harder nucleus in 200 AD than on the day it was finished. Modern asphalt degrades from day 1. The Roman nucleus improved from day 1. Defense 4. What I am about to show you is the part most people never get to. The summer cruster, the surface layer, large cut stone slabs, fitted edge to edge, no mortar, no binding agent. Held in place by weight, by pressure from neighboring slabs, and by the 4 layers of defense beneath them. If one slab shifted, you lifted it, releveled the base and reset it. No reconstruction, no repaving. One stone, one repair. Modern roads fail as a system. When one part goes, everything around it follows. Defense 5. 6 layers total, from subgrade preparation to surface stone, 3 to 5 feet deep. Each one doing a job the layer above it could not do alone. Remove one layer, the system degrades. Keep all 6, the road outlasts the civilization that built it. That is not an accident. That is what happens when you design against an enemy, instead of designing toward a deadline. In 2009, the Netherlands Department of Infrastructure approved an unusual proposal. A team of civil engineers wanted to test whether Roman road principles could be applied to a modern low-traffic road, not a full reconstruction, to a controlled experiment. Same traffic load, same climate, same conditions, 2 roads side by side. One built the modern way, one built with Roman-inspired layering. They monitored both roads for 15 years. At the 5-year mark, no visible difference. At the 10-year mark, the modern road showed early fatigue cracking. The Roman-inspired road, no visible cracking, no rutting. At 15 years, the modern road required full resurfacing. The Roman-inspired road required minor joint maintenance only. The upfront cost of the Roman-inspired road, 38% higher. The 15-year total cost including repairs, 22% lower. The engineers published their findings. The report was peer-reviewed. The methodology was sound. The Dutch government did not scale the approach. The reason they gave: budget cycles do not accommodate a 38% upfront cost increase for savings that arrive 15 years later. The road works, the system does not. In 2019, archaeologists were excavating beneath the old city center of Thessaloniki, Greece. Routine work. Infrastructure project. Nothing unusual expected. Then they hit something, a Roman road. sealed beneath a Byzantine-era building. Untouched for approximately 600 years, they stopped, they documented, they measured, all 6 layers present and intact. The subgrade preparation still visible. The surface stones still fitted tightly together. The nucleus had hardened to the consistency of soft concrete. The rudus had not shifted. The statumen was exactly where it had been placed. And the drainage ditches on both sides of the road, still functional. When researchers flooded the excavation site, water still moved through those ditches. After 600 years, the drainage system was operational. When a Roman emperor was still ruling, it was still operational in 2019. That same year, the Federal Highway Administration released its annual infrastructure report. 40% of surveyed road sections in the United States showed signs of fatigue, cracking, or rutting. The average age of those failing sections, less than 15 years. A road sealed for 600 years structurally sound. A road built 15 years ago failing. Same planet, same water, same loads, same freeze-the cycles. Different priorities. The Thessaloniki road was not an exception, it was confirmation. Confirmation that what Cambridge found in Britain was not a local anomaly, not a lucky accident of climate or geology. It was a system, built the same way, across the entire empire for the same reason. And now here is the part that should genuinely bother you. We already ran the experiment. The Netherlands, 2009, 15 years of data. The Roman-inspired road outperformed the modern road. The long-term cost was lower, the findings were published. The approach was not scaled. So why aren't we building this way? That is the question. And the answer has nothing to do with engineering. The answer is not a mystery. It has never been a mystery. Modern roads are not built to last forever. They are built to meet a budget, to hit a deadline, to satisfy a contract cycle that renews every 20 years. That is not corruption. That is not negligence. That is the system working exactly as it was designed. Roman roads were built for an empire. Modern roads are built for a system. And that system has different priorities than durability. Think about what it actually takes to build a road the Roman way today. 30 to 40% higher upfront cost. A construction timeline measured in months, not weeks. A payoff that does not arrive for decades. No politician runs on that platform. No contractor bids on that contract. No budget committee approves that line item. The Roman system requires thinking across a timeline that no modern institution is structured to reward. That is not a conspiracy. That is just how priorities work. When the people making decisions will not be around to see the consequences. The Romans who built the Via Appia knew they would never see it fail. They built it anyway. As if the road mattered more than the deadline. We build as if the deadline matters more than the road. The roads are the result. The $1 trillion repair bill is the result. The grade of D 25 years running is the result. Not of bad engineering, of a different question. The Romans asked, how do we build something that outlasts everything around it? We ask, how do we build something that lasts long enough? Those are not the same question. And the infrastructure we drive on every day is the difference between those two answers. The Via Appia was begun in 312 BC. Julius Caesar walked on it. Augustine of Hippo walked on it. Medieval pilgrims walked on it. You can walk on it today, not as a museum exhibit, not behind a rope, as a road. It has not been rebuilt. It has not needed to be rebuilt. The modern highway running parallel to it is already under repair. That is not irony. That is the answer. The Romans did not build better roads because they had better technology. They built better roads because they asked a better question. What is trying to destroy this, and how do we stop it at every level? Not just at the surface, not just for 20 years, for as long as the road needs to stand. And this is not the first time. Roman concrete heals itself. Roman roads improve with age. Both systems were studied. Both were fully understood. Neither was adopted at scale. The Romans optimized for permanence. We optimized for something else. That is not a conspiracy. That is just how priorities work. If you have not seen the video on Roman concrete, on the self-healing mechanism that MIT proved in 2023, that is where this pattern begins. The link is here. There are more of these, more systems the ancient world understood, and we chose to ignore. Subscribe if you want to see what else we've been getting wrong.